Hey, good night. It's a real pleasure to be here today, and Sven, it was excellent. I enjoyed that very much, and I learned quite a bit, so thank you very much for sharing that information. You know, my name is Bob Duglin. I'm from ASTA, the American Society of Travel Advisors, and which way should I point to click? Oh, we'll get this up here, but anyhow, we're based in So you're going to have to look at my picture because evidently my presentation may be lost in translation somewhere. I'm looking in my pockets to see if I have a thumb drive. But you know, it's kind of interesting as we speak about this and what the topics are today, because when I listened to Terry Dale yesterday, the one thing that he did mention was things are changing very, very quickly. And even since last night, things have changed. You know, after our dinner, a wonderful dinner that Murtaza and his team put together for us, I went back to the room, I looked at the news, and now I see in the United States that President Biden has said that all vaccines for people 16 and older will be available in America by April 18th. So, you know, I think that's really good news from an American traveler's perspective. And although the United States may not have handled the COVID crisis in the best way we could have possibly, we have done well with vaccines. And I think that's something that's pretty exciting for everybody, and we're really happy about that. And, you know, I take a look at the crisis we have and listen to a lot of what Sven said, and really we're not bouncing back, we're bouncing forward. And I think that's the attitude here of everybody in our audience today. And I want to share with you perspectives from the American travelers and the American Society of Travel Advisors, and also consumers in the United States. We've been polling consumers for over a year together with the Sports and Travel Tourism Conference, as well as ROKK, which pulses consumer sentiment over this past year. And as we take a look at what's been happening, we see that consumer confidence is starting to rise, and it's been rising in a steady format, a little higher every month. And despite the surges that we've had in our country, you know, last summer in December, now things are, you know, getting a little bit better. I know Europe is going through a surge. I have a feeling the US may have our last surge coming, but as more and more people are getting vaccinated, I think we're going to get away from that. And what does that mean for all of us? People are willing to get on airplanes. Our statistics and our numbers show that. People are willing to start getting back to theaters safely. People want conferences, they want conventions, they want face-to-face, they want eye-to-eye. They want the ability for all of us to be able to meet together. And, you know, in the survey data that I have, we show the effectiveness of a platform like Zoom or FaceTime or Microsoft Teams or whatever, that it's very, very important to get through the crisis that we had, and it will change us going forward. We will always have that segment there, but it will never replace what we're doing here in this room today. Nothing like an eye-to-eye contact or a handshake or a hug. And how that's affecting, in the United States, our meetings and events. We have our ASTA Global Convention that's going to be in Chicago, and I invite you all to come in late August. And as Sven mentions, we are going to have that live component, and then we are also going to have that in-person and online portions of it. And you know, you've given me a great idea that I think we need to separate that out so that we're giving great attention to those that are there live, and then to have that broadcast content that goes a little bit later. So it's very interesting to see how people are adapting and how we're going to be able to work together. But I think for you in this room from Turkey and from elsewhere, that will be a great opportunity if you can attend the ASTA Global Convention and meet with a lot of our different members. Now, who is ASTA? We're a trade association. We were founded in the early 1930s as the American Steamship and Travel Association. So maybe we're certainly not as quick as Formula 5, but you know, we too have changed our mission and how we go to market. We represent primarily sellers of travel from the United States in the leisure and in the corporate segment. We have been doing that and kind of going through a lot of changes over the years, but we've been very, very fortunate that with the COVID crisis, just prior to that, we had held meetings with our legislators in Washington, D.C., the people that write the laws. So when the COVID crisis hit, our government leaders knew who we were, and we were very fortunate in the United States, working with our association, working with our members to get loans, government grants, and work on different kinds of programs. You know, a lot of the sales of travel in the U.S. are sold by independent contractors. That's been a tremendous move. There are probably 50 or 60,000 independent contractors, not on a payroll, selling travel and making a commission on that. And because those people are not getting a traditional payroll, they've never been eligible for government benefits if they lose their position. What we were able to do was get them compensation, and now it goes through September until their business comes back. So, thank you. And as a result of that, now people have been able to keep their payrolls. In most cases, they've been able to keep their businesses going, and now we see businesses starting to come back. And again, some news that we had, our legislative day meeting with our congressmen and senators was supposed to be in May of this year, but you know, there's restrictions in all kinds of different cities, but we were able to find that the city of Washington, D.C. is allowing us to hold these meetings at 25% capacity. So much Murtaza as you've done here, we're going to be in a ballroom of 600 people, but only 150 people. And in Chicago, we hope to be 1,200 people, maybe in a ballroom of 2,000 or 2,500. So we're going to be meeting, we're going to be adapting. We would really like to engage more and more with our international partners. Of that 13,000 members that we have now, 2,500 of them are new to ASTA in the last year, and that is primarily because we've been able to assist and get them government relief. Now, our international membership has gone down a bit, and we would love to welcome everybody back. And not to be the sales guy up here, but if you have been a member of ASTA before, we would welcome you back, or if you haven't been a member, and we're going to reduce our fees by 50% for you, because we know these are difficult times. Our website is astaast.org/join, and I've used the code Istanbul50. My email is bob@asta.org. We can talk about that a little bit more later. But some of the ways that you can reach out and contact our members, we have several that are here today that have come as part of the delegation with Murtaza. We have got Chris Settlemeyer, who sits on our board of directors. Chris, I see you there. Chris is from Ohio. We have international chapters. Our chapter president from Romania, Catlin, is here. Stefan Atley from Arizona. We also have members from Michigan, California, other parts of the United States. And people are selling travel. They're getting back to it. We're finding that our numbers for late 2021 and 2022 are higher than they've ever been before. So it's not only better than they were last year, but they're better than they have been for years. And where are people going? Yes, originally they were booking domestically within the United States. And we hadn't seen that much movement, but they wanted national parks, they wanted beaches. Then as things got better, Mexico and the Caribbean opened to Americans. So we have people, the all-inclusive resorts in Mexico are running full. The Caribbean islands are running full. Our government has not allowed cruises to sail yet out of our ports, nor have our friends to the north in Canada. But the Caribbean has opened up. So what has Royal Caribbean and Celebrity done? They were smart enough. They went over to Nassau, to St. Martin, to Athens, to Haifa, here to Turkey. And there's cruises that are going to start sailing. And they're going to start sailing with limited capacities. But this is going to start in a lot of the ports here and the Caribbean ports in the United States, I believe, in June. Why is that important to you, and why do I mention that? Because our members are selling, I want to say it's at least 82% of all cruises and foreign travel out of the United States. These are the influencers that are selling travel where people are spending $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to take that cruise where they've flown 10 or 12 hours. Now, to me, the biggest crime possible is to take a cruise that starts in Istanbul, to fly 12 hours, to land, to get on a bus, get on that ship, and sail away. They need to come here to Istanbul 2, 3, 4 days early, a week early. They need to learn about the culture. They need to visit this country. And I don't care whether it's Istanbul, you know, for this purpose, or Nassau or anywhere else, but they need to learn. They need to be educated. They need to help you and work with you to make more money, to sell, and to know what that destination is all about. I mean, what would a trip to Turkey be to just take a bus ride around the city and leave without having the chance to go to Cappadocia and to Ephesus and to Çanakkale and to Pamukkale and to all these wonderful places? And the only way Americans are going to find out about that is through education and through having you work with our travel advisors. So that's why it's so very, very important. And I know, you know, Catlin in Romania is a great example. We've done several trips over the years with our members, and I found out, you know, Transylvania to me as a kid growing up was Dracula. What did I know? You know, some guy in a bat flying around a castle. But I found it to be one of the most beautiful regions in the world. And then, you know, I've been to this beautiful country many times, and I've had a chance to see, you know, Ephesus and Çanakkale and Pamukkale and Cappadocia. And there's nothing like it anywhere in the world. But we have to share that information, and we have to definitely get that information out. You know, I certainly appreciate everybody's time today. You've been hearing from an awful lot of speakers, but we welcome you to come and work with ASTA, with the American Society of Travel Advisors. If you see myself or any of my colleagues, please feel free to ask. And, you know, I know that we're going to be meeting together again very, very soon, in person, with our masks off, and our business will get better. It will come back, and not come back, but bounce forward. And I thank you for this time, Murti. I thank you and your team very, very much. And I wish everyone the very best of everything. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duglin. We had the website on.
Perfect. Yeah, this is our ASTA.org.
Well, being in the States myself for a decade, you know, I